Hi Cancer, welcome back to your full moon in Leo reading for February 25th, 2023. You have a judgment card for the coming 2 week period. The full moons close out cycles, and so you're using judgment to close out a cycle. On the positive, this is a very aha moment kind of card. It's an awakening. It is hearing the clarion call. It's really kind of, it is what it says as well. It's judgment. But it's also sort of things that you hear that you can't unhear. It awakens you. It moves you. It's almost a rebirth because of it. On the negative side, it can be self-doubt or resisting situations. But we'll see. Let's see what it brings you and how it ties into your reading for the next 2 weeks. So far the readings have been extremely positive. I hope that for you as well. Let's find out what you're closing out the next 2 weeks. Okay, the Ace of Cups. So this is a very emotional card. It's an inspirational card. It is releasing old emotional stuff so that you can make room for something new. It's a very creative card, and it's highly emotional, but it is the beginning of a new emotional cycle. And you have the Wheel of Fortune. Interesting. So this can kind of go either way, or maybe it goes both ways with the Wheel of Fortune, because it is a change of luck. And the thing is that if you were at the bottom of the wheel, you go to the top. If you were at the top of the wheel, you go to the bottom. The thing with the Wheel of Fortune, however, is that life is a gamble, and it is kind of like momentum ticking, and the cycles just keep going. So no matter if you find yourself at the top or at the bottom, excuse me, things just keep moving. This is a change of luck, and it's also a 10. So 10s, and you have a 10 and a 1. So you are beginning something new as you're closing out this cycle. That's what 10 does, but the Ace, which is a 1, right, is also a new beginning of some sort. It's a new emotional cycle. So I do see those two things happening simultaneously. I feel like you've learned a lot in the last, well, I don't know how long, maybe it was just the last cycle, but I do feel like there's been some lessons learned here. And I think that's one of the reasons why you can release some old stuff that you've been holding on to for a while. Your cup is full, so it's overflowing, and so you want to make space for something new. How are you dealing with it? You have the 5 of Wands. 5 is always instability, that is searching for stability. So it's changes, and that depends on how you deal with change. Some people really like it and thrive, and some people find it difficult. This is a little bit of agitation, but it doesn't have to be hard. It can be a challenge, but it can be a fun challenge. And it can just be everybody has an idea of how to get to a particular point or how to create something. And everybody just wants their 2 cents heard. And you have the 6 of Cups with that. So these are possible things that come from the past. This is a very sweet card. So I think that lessens the difficulty of 5 of Wands for me. Did I say Pentacles? 5 of Wands. So the 6 of Cups is, it's a sharing is caring card. It's really kind. It's really sweet. These can be people and situations that come from the past, that want another look. It can be memories from the past that can sort of stir something inside, which would kind of explain the Ace of Cups as well. And even if it's that sort of agitation, maybe the agitated part is the stuff that you want to release, and the more kind memories are the things that you want to hold on to and savor. That can also be something that's going on here. But again, all of these cards I find quite interesting because it's with the Judgment card there, it feels like it's on you how you're going to see this and how it will move forward. Because you're making that judgment. So you can decide if a more of an agitated memory will cause you to feel bad, or if you can look at it and release it. That will make space for more of the good memories, or even kinder, better cycle that's coming. What is the result? Well, you have the Four of Swords, which is you probably need a rest. Not probably, you do. The Four of Swords is a physical rest. Even though the cards are mental, you could still be planning things, but you are having a mental rest or physical rest. Well, maybe you're having a mental one too, since I said it. Because as I'm reading it, I feel very tired. This makes me feel tired. So my mind is tired, not so much my body in this case. So meditation for you, Cancer, would be excellent. That way, every day you have a little mind rest, and you can still get up and be active and do the work that you love to do, because Cancers are people who like to stay busy. They're a cardinal sign. You know, I don't have to tell you this. They expect the best. They do their very best, and that takes a lot of energy. And so it seems to me here now, the advice with the with the Four of Swords is that you take the rest willingly, because if you don't, the universe will help you, and it's always better when you do it yourself. And by that I mean you can catch a cold, you can hurt a ligament, you can get bad headaches. It can just be something quite small, but it's better if you do it yourself, and it's more empowering. So with that, you have the Ten of Swords, which definitely means that you also have a physical feeling of being tired. This is a card of being done. I'm finished. I don't want to go further anymore with this particular thing. Or it's another 10, so it's the end of a cycle, the beginning of something new. And again, your judgment is really, really important here, because this card, the Ten of Swords, is up to you to see if it is dusk or dawn. Is it the beginning of a new day or the end of a very difficult one? And that's your judgment. That's how you want to see it. And so that's up to you. Okay? I don't know if there are children around for some, but they can be quite tiring during this period if you have children. But I must say my mind is very, it kind of slows down. So I feel very mentally tired with you, and that could be. I would also suggest that you drink more water, because I'm also really thirsty. So if you're not drinking enough water, I really do think that will help to clear out some of the emotional stuff. But I also just feel a little bit dehydrated, so you may want to balance out your water intake. Let's get some clarification here. Okay, you have the Seven of Swords with the Ace of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. For me, the Seven of Swords is very much things that are happening behind the scenes, This can be something sneaky, but I don't really see that here so much. I don't. Sometimes it's open enemies, but I don't really see that here. I just feel more agitation than anything with the Seven of Swords and that Five of Wands. So this is somebody who can take what they've learned and go somewhere else with it. It's like leaving a job and taking all the things that you've learned from that job and getting a better position, a higher pay, something that's better for you. And it seems to me that if you do that, or if you're thinking about doing that, I feel like there's somebody who's just kind of finished and they want to leave. Especially with that Ten of Swords and Four of Swords. And you may be considering it, but at some point I think you might just be on your way. I want to pull another card for that. Yeah, the Magician. Maybe you have something better in mind. Maybe you're creating something for yourself, and so you're taking what you've learned at a job and wanting to start your own thing. This is skill and mastery. It is focus, and it is creating and manifesting what you want. But in this case, it's definitely what you think about, you bring about. So mind your thoughts and emotions, because those are the two things that create. So if there's anybody who's trying to manipulate you, trying to get you to do things, because this is the Seven of Swords with the Magician, that can be negatively aspected, and that can be people who are trying to manipulate situations or trying to get you to do what it is they want you to do. But I think you're sharper than that, Cancer. I really do. And hopefully that's not you doing it. At the moment, I would say you feel kind of stuck where you are, or you feel like you're not able to affect any solutions. But I think in this case, there might be a bigger hand steering the situation. And because a lot of the times this is the card of, they say your hands are tied, you can't do anything, but it's also the card of this is not the time to do something. This is actually the time to take your hands off of it, and eventually things will move in your direction. And if you mess around too much with it, it could change that. And so sometimes you're just not supposed to do things, or you're not supposed to do anything about it. Now with that Four of Swords, that means as well that you're kind of taking your hands off of it for a moment and maybe planning something else, but not really taking up that fourth sword to take action just yet. Now is not the time. So I am going to say with that Eight of Swords, it's probably not the time to do anything. There might be too much of this going on, which is that kind of agitation or internal fighting. All right, and then you have the Six of Swords, because at some point you are going to walk away, you're going to move on, you're going to move towards calmer emotions, because they are pretty massive and overflowing with the Ace of Cups. And the Six of Cups is moving on. It's taking your lessons and moving to calmer waters. It's kind of resigning yourself to the fact that this is the way it is, and let me just then move on. And it's very possible that you resign from somewhere. That's also very possible, or you're really thinking or considering that, and in the future it's very possible. So like I said, this is the 2 weeks, and it's your judgment. It's up to you. You are making the decisions here, with the judgment card, because I do feel like with the judgment card there is something that you've seen that you cannot unsee, and it doesn't sit right with you. And like I said, Cancer is very they're usually very upright people. It's a cardinal sign. And so at some point you just think, well, I can't unsee that, or it's nothing I want to be a part of, so I'm going to move on. And you could be finishing up that cycle right now. Okay, Four of Pentacles is what Spirit wants you to know. This is the foundation card. It is holding on tightly, so I don't think you're going to be doing anything in these 2 weeks about moving on, but I think maybe by the end of the 2 weeks you'll make that decision whether you're going to move on or hold on to the situation. Even if you don't, I would say, resign or leave, the Six of Swords can just be, this is the way it is, and I have to kind of live within these situations. If you don't feel like moving on right now, the Four of Pentacles is really staunch in attitude, and just sort of hunkering down, for me, my feeling here. But I do think you need a rest. I really do. Now, the Four of Pentacles can also be finances and saving up for this move that you're probably going to make. So that's also something that you are doing, is making sure that you have enough money for maybe this new idea, this new cycle that's coming in, something that you have planned, or even if you're just going to take a rest and I would say like take a hiatus or something like that. You want to make sure that you have enough money for that, or that you're well supported in that financially. But it is sort of anchoring something for me. I feel like there's an anchor here. So I think you're going to be very, I think this is what you're going to be busy with in the next 2 weeks as you are finishing up this particular cycle and getting ready for that new one. And I think it can be inspired. Okay, I hope this has been helpful. I will be back in 2 weeks with a new moon reading. I do dailies, and I'm grateful that you're listening, and I hope this has been helpful. Take care.